quiet but loud. The pickaxe was merely destiny. The sensation of malice overcame me, cracking the brittle shell of my humanity and transforming my soul into a despising servant of hell. Quentin Solch murmured another one of his demonic phrases under his breath. "Why are you doing this to me? How can you do this?" The man begged for his life as he writhed against the tight ropes across his arms and chest. Quentin had laid the man out on a rotting billiard table and tied him down for his playtime. One man must know the consequences of what he has unleashed into the world, for his very being is corrupt. He must regain his purity only through demise. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? The man stammered as he mildly convulsed at the thought of this looming monster being the last image he saw before he died. Quentin slowly took his time and travelled around the table rhythmically towards the shelf of tools. His gliding gait brought back old memories. It had been too long, almost 3 months. Such a long period of time caused such a longing to purify the poor, misled souls of the world. Quentin knew that this poor sap would need a fast awakening to the world around him. A tool that possessed enough strength to make one anywhere. A soft whimpering came from the billiard table behind him. Quentin could hear the innocence trying to break free, trying to see the light of the world. His eyes darted to the dusty but sharp shears on the left. It was too dull for this type of cleansing. His eyes found what he needed. The pickaxe. Not a single spot of corruption was on it. Quentin had never used a pickaxe before. It was new. The innocence required a pure tool to restore what had been lost in the soul. The pickaxe was merely destiny. Why? What did I do to deserve this? The man begged the question as he saw this creature lift a pickaxe off a shelf. The pickaxe appeared to lack weight upon being carried by the brute. The man tried with as much energy as possible to loosen the rope, to break the rope, to escape. "Fear not, my child. I observe your corruption, infecting your body with each move you make. For the cleansing to be true, I must request that you cease your movement." Quentin raised the pickaxe with both arms above the fragile being laying on the table before him. "At last, my child, for you shall be purified, and your innocence shall be free." "No!" the man shouted as loud as he could in an attempt to stop the behemoth's violent behaviour. Quentin swiftly swung his arms downward towards the miserable youth on the billiard table. His tool of purification made contact with the skull, releasing the innocence. He slowly lifted the pickaxe from the man's corpse, now so full of life. Another purification was complete. The beast. I don't really know what to do anymore. Being a farmer down in the rural end of Missouri, life gets a little lonely. I only had 3 friends, all farmers. My wife died 10 years ago of a disease, and it's hard to combat the loneliness alone. Income hasn't been so great lately. Something has been attacking my livestock. They are my main source of income, and I've been going into debt. I met up with some of my friends at the local bar, the only place that really still runs in this dump of a town. "What do you mean killed?" asked Joseph. "I don't really know what you're talking about," said Paul. "Animals don't just die for no reason." "I swear they just died out of nowhere," I exclaimed. "They have deep sore-like cuts on their heads, and the rest is just whatever is what that it didn't want to eat. I have no idea what it is." "Well, we can't help you," said Joseph. "We have our own to keep some group of coyotes off our farms too." "Thanks for your help, guys," I said, and stormed out of the bar. I never realised how late I end up being out at some nights. I swear I got home around 12 AM and walked into my house. I ate some chips, then walked up to my bedroom and just passed out. Howling, not like any animals I've ever seen. It sounded unworldly, like it were from a different planet, maybe even a different universe. It sounded like 6,000 screams from the lowest pit of hell, echoing through my ears. I smashed open my gun cabinet and pulled out my rifle. I ran over to my barn and climbed the ladder. I sat on the roof waiting for that little coward to attack my animals. I heard the howling again. It was tearing up my prize cow. I climbed down to get within range of whatever was killing my animals. I would have no mercy against what had made my life a living hell for the past few months. I walked up to the gates of my cow area. I shouted out cat calls towards it, and I heard the howl again. Closer, at least 10 feet away from me. It flew with amazing speed, making 10 feet look like 10 inches in a second. I saw it. It was huge, black beast that easily towered 10 feet, crouching. It twitched naturally and very frantically. It had mangled, pitch black fur covered in blood and entrails. The musky smell of blood rang throughout the air. The beast's claws easily reached 2 feet. His blue eyes flared like headlights. I was the deer caught in them. I looked down the barrel of the gun and got a clear shot towards its head. I was trembling, the sweat coming off my head like a waterfall. I shot it directly in the head, and it got smacked to the ground for a second. It stood up, and the bullet left. In fact, it barely tore the skin. I looked in horror as the beast lunged at me. I ran as fast as I could. I was tackled and clawed across the face. I grabbed my gun 2 inches from me and I shot it again at close range. I felt the shell fall back down on me as the creature stared at me, unharmed and fully aware that I was trying to harm it. It took its giant palm and smashed my face in, then clawed it. The monster picked me up with his teeth and I blacked out. I don't know where I was at now. It was dark and the smell of dead animals was intense. I saw multiple bloody carcasses on the floor, ranging from raccoons to foxes. I tried to stand up, but then I looked down. A huge gaping hole on my side was visible, and I couldn't describe the pain I was in. I inched towards what I thought was light, and I saw freedom. But I was deep in the woods. I had started to slide down an incline, and then the slide went from just sort of sliding to flying down the incline at 20 miles an hour. I slapped a tree with my face, then lay down on the ground in pain. I continued to slide. Then I heard the beast from hell's call again. It was close. This time I was sure I was going to die. The creature hovered over me and just lifted me up and threw me against a tree. I slid trying to escape, but I was just lifted up and thrown on the ground, then stomped on. I was praying for death, but the creature wouldn't let me go out the easy way. The beast reached down and screamed in my face. I watched as 3 more monsters walked near me. I witnessed in fear as they howled, and more showed up. At least now I knew there wasn't only one of those things. I tried to stand up and run, but as soon as I tried to stand up, I was smacked in the back by one of the monsters. I was rolled over, and I stared into the eyes of the animals that planned to murder me. I stared into their eyes for 3 brief seconds. The light flooded my eyes. My God, the light was bright. They took their sharp 2 feet long claws and dug them into my eyes. I felt every single twitch, push and tingle. I screamed, and then nothing. I felt absolutely nothing. I shouldn't have messed with these things. I know I shouldn't have. My vision was restored, but I felt all the pain I felt back when I was alive. My body stung everywhere. I don't get how people got the idea of clouds and golden gates and all that. It's just a pitch black forest. There's nothing up here. Only the constant howls of the beast in the distance. For those who meet death, get prepared. It's just a hunting game. Welcome to hell. And that's it for tonight, my little hellhounds. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed tonight's stories, then don't forget to subscribe and click the like button. And if you have any scary stories, then submit them to Reddit r/homeofscares and follow me on Twitter at homeofscares. Now, good night, my little hellhounds.